Hey y'all, this is John Trent. I'm the editor-in-chief at Bounty Into Comics, and I've got some Black Widow and WandaVision news for you today. An interview dropped over at Inverse from Black Widow film writer and the showrunner for the upcoming WandaVision TV series, Jac Schaeffer. In the interview, Schaeffer declares she's not interested in adhering to comic canon that is discriminatory. Here's her exact quote. Quote, "I'm not interested in adhering to comic canon that is discriminatory in any way or that violates my value system." Of course, this type of comment is definitely going to see some negative reaction, and Schaeffer has already prepared like a response for that. And she's kind of already labeled potential blowback for her comments as, quote, hate. She says, "When people react with hate, it saddens me. I think it's a shame. But that's not where I want to put my energy. I'm not interested in the loud, sour grapes voices." What makes her statement about comic canon even more wild is the fact that Schaeffer admits she is not a comic book fan and wasn't even a superhero movie fan before she was hired to work for Marvel. Schaeffer states, quote, "I wasn't a huge superhero movie fan before starting to work at Marvel, but now that I'm doing it, there's just so much opportunity to make big, positive statements." She would add, "Especially something like Captain Marvel and Black Widow, to have these female-centered stories, I just can't not be involved in that." So you're probably wondering what her values system is, because that's kind of, she says she doesn't want to adhere to comic canon that is discriminatory in any way or that violates my value system. So what is Jac Schaeffer's value system? Well, she doesn't really go into details about it in the interview with Inverse, and they don't really kind of ask her what her value system is, but she does give us some clues. When discussing the writing room for WandaVision, Schaeffer points out that the makeup of the writing room consists of 4 females out of 8 individuals. She indicates this is, quote, "incredibly intentional, and it was very much supported by Marvel." She adds, "I felt incredibly strongly that we needed women and people of color and people of all backgrounds and perspectives in the room. I think it is fact, that stories are better the more perspectives you have." Later on in the interview, she would also indicate she wants superhero films to, quote, to stop, quote, "glamorizing guns and weaponry." She references Captain Marvel, which she also worked on. She says, "I would like to see, quote, I would like to see alternatives to violence in superhero movies. Maybe I would qualify that by saying alternatives to glamorizing guns and weaponry. That's one of the reasons that I love Captain Marvel. It's all about inner power, and the destruction is not at the expense of human life." I don't know if she actually watched Captain Marvel. I guess maybe human life is a qualifier there, but if you watched Captain Marvel, she kind of destroys a bunch of Kree ships and then like stares down Ronan and tells him to like go away. And doesn't really seem to have any issues with torturing individuals either, or at least stealing from them. Finally, she would indicate she wants to change the world via the film projects she joins. "I choose to be, quote, I choose to be a part of projects that are about positive representation. We need to see women, we need to see people of color, we need to see nuanced experiences, and we need to see different perspectives on screen. I choose to work with people who are interested in changing perspectives for the better and putting a world on screen that is something we can aspire to and have conversations about, and moving in a direction that will create a world I hope will be better for my children." Now, if this sounds familiar, it should. It's rather similar to Brie Larson's vision for taking on the role of Captain Marvel. Back in February, Larson spoke with Marvel's Vice President of Content and Character Development, Sana Amanat, in an interview for In Style, where she stated that taking on the role of Captain Marvel was her form of activism. Larson specifically stated, quote, "The movie was the biggest and best opportunity I could have ever asked for. It was like my superpower. This could be my form of activism, doing a film that can play all over the world and be in more places than I can be physically." As to Larson's activism, she revealed, quote, "Inclusion has to be a choice. It's not happening naturally. You really have to fight for it." I expect more comments like this coming out of Marvel Studios and their staff and employees in the near future. If these comments and Larson's from earlier this year are any indication, Marvel Studios and Disney appear to embracing the fact they are in the business of activism and not actually in the business of entertainment anymore. I want to know what you think. What do you make of these comments? Do you plan on seeing Black Widow? What do you make of the direction of the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward? Drop us a comment and let us know. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding into Comics. Make sure you subscribe and smash that bell so you get notifications. Till next time.